Welcome to Toffee TV. There's my three talking points. Chelsea 1, Everton 0 in West London today, and the Toffees a normal defeat in London at Chelsea. Not all London, obviously. At Chelsea, it's not a ground we've done particularly well at. The weight goes on. It's 31 years this year since we last won there in the Premier League, and it was. What can you do? It's not been a happy hunting ground for us at all. And today, you know what? There might have been an opportunity today, but we just haven't got the players in the final third. And if they're a bit below what at times they've performed at, if their levels are below that, like if I feel they were today, then it's almost, you're hoping for something, a set piece or something, and they were rubbish from us today as well. So we were beaten. The disappointing thing I'm going to take away from it is, we give them the goal. It was a great finish from Jackson, don't get me wrong, but a ball into your centre forward, he's got to keep it, and your centre back's got to get closer and block shots. And neither of those things happened, and it ended up in our net, and that was it. It was a mistake that was punished, and that's what good teams do to you. So lots of work to be done. But again, in one of them where I can't stamp my feet and moan too much about it. We weren't good enough today. We had a spell in the game where we were better. Their goalkeepers had to make two good saves, one really good save and the other one a decent stop as well, to stop us maybe getting a point. Certainly stopped us getting level at the time. But ultimately we've lost the game, and that's disappointing, isn't it? And another game without scoring a goal is frustrating, I think. So it's all, we build up now to Ipswich Town next week at home, and that has to be a win. That's got to be a 3 points for Everton, and I'm sure that's how David Moyes feels about it as well. And off we go with that. The first talking point, I think, today is the manager changing the team and putting Nathan Patterson in and O'Brien to centre-back. I think it was absolutely the right thing to do. Patterson, mixed for me today. He's done some good stuff, and then other times showed a player who is either inexperienced or hasn't played for a while, because just some of his decision making, it got himself into trouble. He's got some good attributes, put a really good cross in, which Chalobah done well to get away, and that's like the attacking side of it. But he does look short of confidence, and he looks short of any real experience. I think David Moyes, this is a tricky one for Everton, because the manager gave him 63 minutes, I think. Ashley Young come on and didn't really fare much better when he was defending. I think Madueke took him on a few times, and so did Sancho. Skinned him a couple of times. So they're obviously a danger. How wide those two are a real threat. But I think Patterson's got a few weeks. I think David Moyes will want better, unless he can really step up. Obviously, I don't expect Ashley Young to be here next season. I might be wrong there, but just looking at it right now, Seamus Coleman, I'd be really surprised if he carries on past this season. I think the coaching he's been doing, I think he'll step into David Moyes' backroom staff, or he'll maybe go and take charge of one of the younger groups as the manager. And I think he'll be heading on his coaching journey. Again, this is just me making these assumptions at the end of April. But I'd be surprised if Seamus stays. Wouldn't be massively against it, but he just hasn't been fit this season. And does he just want to get on to the next bit? I don't know. But that's two going out. And therefore, by default, Patterson should be the number one right back. But we know that Jake O'Brien's played, 14 times there for David, 13 times there for David Moyes, rather. And the manager's been happy with him. So the manager, obviously Jake O'Brien's the manager's number one. That's disappointing for Patterson. Did he do well enough today to wrestle that position off Jake O'Brien? No. But Tarky's out for the season, we know that. And Jake O'Brien wants to play centre-back. So I don't think, personally, putting Ashley Young in at right-back next week, or putting Seamus in at right-back, does anything, tells us anything. I think Patterson starts again for me next week, and we have another look at him, this time at home, up against the team who are obviously relegated. Can he perform better? Can he perform with more confidence at home? it's another game for Jake O'Brien. I think Jake O'Brien will play every game now till the end of the season, centre-back. I think if there's any changes, it'll be Coleman or Young in at right-back instead of Patterson over the next few weeks. But Patterson's got an opportunity. He's got to make the manager and make a decision on him and one way or the other. And he's up against saving his career. So, at Everton, rather, so he's got 2 years left on his deal this summer. We have to make a decision, and he has to give the manager a decision to make, and hopefully he can step up to the plate and perform at the level I'm sure he believes he can. So we'll find out in the next few weeks. But I'm all for David Moyes giving O'Brien a go at centre-back and learning about him, giving Patterson a go at right-back and being able to make a decision with him. I'm absolutely all for it. And there's 4 games to go, and I'm sure that's what the manager's going to do now as well with those 4 games. We'll see. Obviously, time will tell. But yeah, so he's got work to do, Nathan, definitely, and hopefully he can take it with both hands and show the manager that he has a future at Everton Football Club. We'll see, I guess. Second thing I'm going to talk about is the sort of contract situation for a few of our players. When you look at it, like I think it's Rissa, I've waxed lyrical about him on here for months because he's been Everton's best player. I thought he was off it today, if I'm being perfectly honest. I thought he was below. I think the core was way below what he can perform at. When you look at the contract situation and the players who were out of contract, Adrissa for me is a no-brainer. There's obviously been murmurings lately that Saudi Arabia have offered, 2 clubs in Saudi have offered him a contract and probably guaranteed him 2 years as well on big money. David Moyes was asked about it the other day, about the players who are out of contract. And he said, well, we've got them till June the 30th and we'll make a decision then. Well, not then, but obviously by then. There's no rush, I think he was trying to say. But I'm just wondering how he's going to shape the squad. See, the core for me, I'm not sure what you do with him. I think if he signed for a portion of his wage, then maybe, yeah, good squad player. I personally think he's better deeper than what he is that high up the pitch. I think to play that high up the pitch off a striker, you've got to be able to score and create goals. He's got 3 goals in 30 games or something this season. It's not enough for that position, for that advanced role. He's not a big creator of goals either. But he is loads of energy, works his socks off, gets toes in. And I think David Moyes appreciates that. And therefore, that does make him valuable because he can do that job. Auxiliary off the striker every now and again, yeah. But I think for Everton to move forward, and don't forget, we want Everton to be higher up that pitch, don't we? We want to higher up that table. We want Everton to be challenging those teams. We don't want to be in any sort of danger. We want our team to score more goals and create more chances. You need better. You need more creativity. And that's what we've got to look at this summer. And the wide areas, we haven't got goals in wide areas, have we? And Jai, to me, looks like a player who would be better playing off the striker. Now, if Alcaraz stays, and I actually thought Alcaraz did really well today, and I've said before, he's a player who I would keep, actually. I think he's the most comfortable in our midfield when he's on the ball. And today, really, again, decision-making with Charlie Alcaraz, all the other bits, I think, are there. But Njai playing off a striker would cause lots of issues because he can take the ball both ways. And it isn't, when you're in that central role, it isn't always about sprint speed. Where I think when you're wide, you do need that element of pace. You need to be able to get one knocked in behind and you get there. He is never going to do that. Chelsea's done it really well today. Neto in the first half played a little give and go and left Michalenko for dead, and Branthwaite cut it out. Madueke certainly did that on the other side. Sometimes he'd come inside, other times he'd go round the outside. And we don't have that. We don't have it on either side, really. I'm just wondering if David Moyes would want real pace on that left-hand side as well. We need it on the right. So where'd you put Njai within that? But these players who were out of contract, I've just mentioned Ashley Young on the last thing, Seamus Coleman, Idrissa Gana Gay, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin. Most of them, I think, will go. Garner's the one I think needs to stay. Doucouré he's a problem. And he's a problem because he's on big wages. But we need better where he plays. Do you want to let that go out the squad? And he knows the Premier League. Like I said, he's much better deeper. it's a conundrum, and obviously David Moyes has got to try to come up with that. I think, don't get me wrong, I think the Corey will play every game till the end of the season. But that doesn't mean one way or the other whether Everton are keeping him or they're letting him go. So it's an interesting one. This is the one I think we have to keep. But I don't think he had his best game today at all. But just looking at it, it's one where you look and assess and think, are we going to bring in as many as we'd like? Who knows? The manager's said quite clearly on more than one occasion that the squad isn't big enough. He wants players in, and lots of players are probably going to go out the door. So if it isn't big enough now, and Everton have got 9, 10, 11, 12 players out of contract, then clearly we ain't bringing in 12 players, are we? But we probably end up with 8 or 9 coming in. And that might be made up with a few loans as well, but it's going to be a very, very, very interesting summer with those out of contract players. What do you do with it? And finally is the final third. Is the biggest thing. Again, this is nothing new. I've probably said that quite a few times, but today shows you that. But with the final third, I've just touched on it then. What Everton needs to do is bring in probably 3 wide players, really, because we need 2 who can play off the right. Both need to be quick and have a record of scoring goals. And we need someone who can play off the left who's quick. Dwight McNeil can play centrally. He can go and stand on the left, but he's got no pace. He was done today a couple of times because he's not quick enough. So he operates better centrally, I think. I've just talked about Njai, as skillful as he is. I think we need someone who can get in behind with real pace on the left, and we need 2 of them on the right-hand side. Then is the problem with the centre forwards. Beto, the goal, I think, will do David Moyes' head in that your front man hasn't protected the ball. He's also on a dry spell again. Chimiti's not scored a goal for us, but he's hardly had any time. I'm not having goal with him, but he's a young player who needs to develop. Calvert-Lewin, I don't see staying unless Everton panic and think they can't get anyone better and offer him big money. So where do we solve this conundrum? And Brozier will go back to Chelsea. So he's going to want at least 2 centre forwards in the summer. So there's 5 positions I'm talking about that absolutely need creating, fixing. We need another midfield player coming in. I'd love someone like Habib Diarra to come in because he can do 2 or 3 of them. He can play wide, but he is a midfielder as well, and he can travel with the ball. We need that, but centre forwards we need desperately to come in. We need goals. This team doesn't score goals, and those front areas are absolutely key for us to get goals, and none of them score enough goals. And Jai's done well, he's got 9. Beto's threw some in, but we need the lad playing off him to get 8 to 10. We need the centre forward to get double figures. Someone else to come in who can get double figures. The wide player on this side, on the right, needs to get 6, 8, 9 goals. That's what we need. They're in Europe. It's not dead easy, but Everton's recruitment has been poor. Let's be honest. They haven't, not individual players, but we just haven't ever got what we need. We all know we need runners, quick lads who are pacey with a record of goals. And the recruitment team haven't come up with it at any time, but other teams get them. We haven't gambled with it. We haven't gone and got genuine pace to get you out of trouble. They are there. We just haven't done it. I think David Moyes will do it. Evidence, the last week's game, this week's game. When you're up against quality, higher quality, you've got to have something that is a bit of an X factor, and we don't have it. So we come up short unless we're perfect in those moments. So a lot of work to be done. And that's it. That's it, really. You can't. We've lost the game, lost it narrowly. And we get on with it. The 4 defeats David Moyes has had: 1-0 to Villa, 1-0 to Liverpool, 1-0 to Chelsea, 2-0 to City, and City wasn't a 2-0 game. But they're all narrow defeats. More quality, you could have very, very different outcomes. So onwards and upwards. Ipswich next week. There you go. Make sure you check out the match reaction. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Who do you want? Who would you really love Everton to go after this summer? Make sure you give it a like, subscribe, give it a share as well. Do me a favour as well. Go and check out the Nick Chadwick interview on Inside the Game podcast that I've done. Former Everton striker. He's brilliant. Give that a little subscribe and a like as well. It's massively appreciated. Have a fantastic weekend if you can pick your head up. Have a really good weekend. Take it easy. See you later.